right. Let's try this again. It's just broadcasted with no audio. So the subject of today's broadcast is this. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. The tyrant dies and his rule is over. The martyr dies and his rule begins. I thought this was an awesome quote. And what is shocking to me is the way that the narrative is trying to be just completely dominated by this. They're trying to say, well, he spewed a bunch of hate, and so therefore he got what was coming to him. It's just ridiculous. But before we get to that, all right, let's just check out. They found the killer, right? So they believe they got somebody who they think is a suspect. It's this dude. He was writing all kinds of trans messages on the bullets, so he's obviously mentally ill. And so hopefully they got him. All right. And so, right? If the roles were reversed, like remember this guy? Everybody, this dude was robbing a woman and pointed a gun at her fetus, at her unborn baby, as he was robbing her. All right, so he gets, and there are reports that he didn't die from asphyxiation. He died from an overdose of fentanyl, and so everybody went mental, right? Oh my God, toxic white male and whatever. And the news media, everybody just tried to control this as some sort of racial oppression, ridiculousness. And now here we got Omar saying, trying to make the argument, just talking a bunch of crap, trying to make the argument that Charlie Kirk deserves a shot in the neck because of his speech. Okay, so I'll shut up and let's listen to her.
What I do know for sure is that, Charlie was someone who once said, guns save lives after a school shooting. Charlie was someone who was willing to debate and downplay the death of George Floyd in the hands of Minneapolis police.
I think he called him a scumbag.
Right, have no regard, downplay slavery and what Black people have gone through in this country by saying Juneteenth should never exist. And I think, there are a lot of people who are out there talking about him just wanting to have a civil debate.
Complete rewriting of history.
Yeah, there is nothing more effed up, than to completely pretend that his words and actions have not been recorded and in existence for the last decade or so. And
okay, so what's your point, Omar? That because of his words, he deserves to get shot in the neck. All right. How does that make sense? What an idiot. And so, this is the landscape, all right? This is the landscape a representative is saying. Isn't the definition of pointing a gun at a pregnant woman's unborn child the definition of a scumbag? Come on. Anyways, so you've got people, right? You get, let's see if I can get people celebrating. Oh, Charlie's dead. Imagine we're celebrating. Oh, the scumbag George Floyd is dead. Isn't it great? Can't point a gun at any more pregnant women. Oh, Charlie Kirk is dead. So this is the landscape that we have. This is the bias that we have to deal with, right? It's just there. So you can't whine about it. You can't cry about it. That's the way it is. And so I want to show you this, in Okay, this is the Chicago crime map. All right, so here are the most deadliest places in Chicago in red. Right, this is sort of the west side, going from this area here. All right, this area right here. How do I do this? I'm trying to get my. There we go. Is Oak Park, River Forest, Berwyn, right? Some of the nicest, most lovely communities in the western suburbs, and they're right, next to Afghanistan, or some of the most heinous murders in the city take place. We're sick of it, right? Chicago looks like a joke to the rest of the world. We would welcome a show of force, clean up this cesspool on the west side and on the south side, but the problem is that, okay, you have to control the narrative. You have to control the narrative, and Trump did that. We've seen it. We know how to control the narrative. Trump proved how you can leverage TikTok, Rumble, and where these kids are. The younger generation is not really on LinkedIn or Facebook. And if you look at the ICE social media offerings, ICE Customs and Enforcement, right? They got a Flickr account. I'm surprised there's not a MySpace account here, So they're pushing sort of a legacy press release type of narrative to kind of legacy sort of social media platforms. Now, they do have an X account for every major city. I think that's pretty cool. But there's no TikTok, there's no Rumble, there's no BitChute, there's no Twitch, Kick, right? That's we got to change that. And so I want to show you the quality. Now, Trump is unique in the fact that he's sort of the premier president in terms of creating just quality, almost cinematic looking promotional material. So the leaders of the world came over to talk to him after he met with Putin in Alaska, and then 6 hours later he put out this glorious montage. And so I'm going to play it for you now. And so what we have here is B-roll. It's a collection of video images, and they're put together, and they've got a soundtrack underneath. And I just want to keep your eye out. You see how this door is out of focus? That's called pulling focus. It's a very cinematic way of filming, and you can see this throughout. See, this is very courageous. Trump is behind the flag there, and just to focus on Zelensky. So these guys, see the painting, it's out of focus. Even Trump's slightly out of focus with focus on Zelensky. So this is just top quality craftsmanship. And so I'll shut up again, and let's take a look. Let's bring down the background music. Here we go. Okay, that was outstanding work. Now, I remember Ice was going to a farm in California, and there was some like liberal yuppie type dude trying to stand in the street and block the caravan from getting to its destination. And the liberal media was like, oh my God, they're going to arrest a bunch of poor Mexicans, picking tomatoes, whatever. And in actuality, it was just this illegal pot farm here. Let me show you. I'm trying to get this. My name. I just noticed my name is there. My name doesn't necessarily need to be there. Anyway, so okay. So where were we? Yeah, let's get to. So this is that raid. All right, and so ICE is documenting it kind of in the same fashion that the video we just saw. Good framing. I mean, it's obviously not the quality of the White House video, but look, somebody's doing a good job here, trying to get sort of a nice panning shot. And this is a good shot too. I don't know if they're on a cart, but nice, steady. It's not too bad, not too bad. Trying to get that rolling effect. All right, so you get the idea. Somebody's trying their best. They got their phone. They're collecting images, trying to frame it the best they can. Okay, so that's great, but I don't think that's good enough. All right, with just simple tools. Just I took that video and then I put it into CapCut, right? So CapCut, it's on my phone. CapCut is on my phone. I can edit. This is the first editing tool to be this versatile, and CapCut is connected to TikTok. So when you export, you're exporting directly to TikTok, and it's asking you want a landscape and a portrait, format, and it has templates. It's just so unbelievably powerful, and it's unlike any other editing platform, and it's free. All right, that's what's so ridiculous about it. It's just incredible. So I took that cut, I cut it to the beat, right? So each little thing here, I put a white flash, I grabbed some epic music, and so I'm going to play for you the swish. So this is, oops, got the wrong thing. Okay, so here comes the swish. And so I'm cutting to the beat, and here's the epic music that I just grabbed from here. You can even have AI music if you want. So now it gives it a noble, majestic feel. So now, see, we're entering into Trump territory right now. Just done so easily. It's all right. So we can take a look, and so this is the final product is here. That deserves some hand claps. So, yeah, the tools are there. the power of AI to integrate it in terms of creating descriptions and titles is there, and so so we gotta get the narrative out, truth, justice, the American way, and just having these platforms is not cutting it. All right, the tyrant dies and his rule is over. The martyr dies and his rule begins. We have an opportunity to take this tragedy and really use it as a turning point, right? Charlie's thing was called Turning Point, as a turning point to say we're done. We're done with the crime. We're done with this. Everybody's oppressed, so therefore they get to rob, steal, and kill people. What kind of insanity is that? All right. So just a real quick shout out to my people in Chicago here, working for ICE and law enforcement. We're going to do just a really quick presentation. There we go. So the governor and Brandon Johnson have thrown down the gauntlet. All right. They called Trump a wannabe dictator and characterized his actions as authoritarian, unconstitutional, and you see that Trump doesn't like it because he actually is responding to Pritzker by name, and so they're even just like with Charlie Kirk, this poor woman, right, Irina Zarutska, stabbed by the neck by that animal, right? They're also trying to change the narrative and not focus on the real problem is the total complete failure of the legal system. This guy should have never been on the streets. The handwritten note, I promised to come back for the cashless bail. Come on, we're sick, we're tired. So she's another figure, a type of martyr figure that we can use as inspiration to command and control the narrative. All right. So here's the reality. TikTok breaks 1 billion views daily. President Trump has mastered it, syncing rally clips, cinematic edits, and sound-driven storytelling to bring him to the White House. Right? So ICE doesn't even have an account. That should get a boo. We got to change that, man. That the platform where public opinion is formed in seconds is a battlefield where ICE hasn't even shown up yet. Imagine ICE puts out a press release on LinkedIn and Facebook about a major operation. It gets a few hundred impressions. Meanwhile, a TikTok influencer does a 30-second reaction video and gets 3 million views overnight. Right? ICE's official message is drowned out instantly, and it looks like a 17-year-old with a TikTok account knows how to control the narrative better than the federal government. This might have been acceptable in an era before Trump, but if it ever pops off in Chicago and something like Jorge Floyd happens and some kid gets killed accidentally or something and everybody's losing their mind, if there is not a social media aggressive, top quality social media, public relations, public affairs strategy in place, what's going to stop Trump from coming to Chicago, firing all the ICE administrators, keeping the foot soldiers, but firing everybody in administration, saying, I'm going to put my own people in here who know how to create the content that I'm used to and that I think is effective. It could happen. Trump has been known to do that. So yes, the game is rigged, especially in the Windy City. But if ICE doesn't master social media now, the next crisis won't just overwhelm the streets. It'll overwhelm ICE's Chicago reputation, and we're going to see it play out in real time right before our eyes. And so the thing is that the local support for Trump in Chicago is huge. Everybody's sick of this crime. Everybody's sick of this this, you're oppressed, so you can rob and kill me. What is, everybody's done. So there's lots of support in Chicago for the Trump agenda, and all you got to do is put in MAGA supporters Chicago, and you get a great cross sections of people who are actively engaging in their communities. And so the thing is, you don't have to, in this type of environment, you don't have to create a social SEO strategy and build a community over time. It's already there. You just have to feed it with the content that's suitable for the platform that you're working with. So whatever it is, whether it's Instagram or X or YouTube, Kick, whatever, they are all customizable. You all have the opportunity to customize content for each platform. And then so you just talk to these people, interview these influencers, find out what it is that they need to spread the word, and then just give it to them. You don't need to hire Hollywood producers or anything of the quality that Trump has access to. You can do it at a very, very grassroots guerrilla filmmaking style level. So the tools are simple. The impact is massive. With the right strategy, ICE owns the storyline, not TikTok teens, not the chaos, and not the critics. Own the narrative, win the nation. The future starts here. So in closing, right, the tyrant dies and his rule is over. The martyr dies and his rule begins. The time is now. All right, the time is now to just end the madness. We're done. We're done with the crime. We're done with the liberal crybabyism. We're done with the killing and the flash mobs. All right, let's get some federal troops in here, just like they do in Paris. You see guys in army fatigues with machine guns patrolling the Eiffel Tower. All right, let's get some of that going on. Thanks for watching. Maybe tomorrow I'll show you how to use the TikTok template creator to just create videos, compelling social media videos in just seconds. It's just ridiculous. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. All right. Take care. Au revoir.